Hi, and welcome back to Evolution, Yoga and Wellbeing with Karen. So today we are working on our spine. So maintaining a healthy spine is really a key aspect of overall body health. And particularly as we begin to age, get older, keeping that kind of strength through the midline, that central line of our body, becomes increasingly important. So today's class is going to show the 6 directions in which you should be moving your spine in on a regular basis. So the whole range of poses. I'll explain those six directions as we move through the practice. But it's a really nice dynamic class to get you moving and building on that overall body health. So let's get started. Come onto your mat. We're going to start in child's pose. So taking the knees anywhere from hips distance out to as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes back together. Sink the hips back towards the heels. And really, before we even start to fold, which is one of our first movements, really nestle the buttocks back towards your heels. Then you can fold yourself down. This is our flexion movement, forward folding, down towards the mat, rest the forehead to the floor, have the arms extended out, soft elbows, let yourself arrive, first pose of the practice. Always nice just to arrive, take a couple of breaths, breathing in and out through the nose, letting the breath come all the way down to the belly, and breathing out through the nose, soft, long exhale. 2 more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. Relax the face, relax the jaw so the breath flows softly and easily through the throat. And then the next of our movements, our lateral movements from side to side. So extend the arms out in front, come onto tented fingertips, lift the forehead up off the mat, but keep the ears between the upper arms and have that sense of rolling the inner or the upper arms in towards your ears. It just helps to broaden across the upper back. Take a breath in at the center. And as you exhale, walk the fingertips off to the left side of the mat. Keep the hands shoulder distance, stay on the fingertips so the arms stay active. And you'll notice that lovely opening now through the right side of the body. As you exhale, drop the right hip towards right heel. Keep the head between the upper arms. And then moving on an inhale back to the center of the mat. Use the exhale to come off to the right side of the mat. And you'll feel then that lovely extension and opening through the left side of the body. As you exhale, drop left hip towards left heel. Taking a breath. And inhale to come back into center. Flatten the palms. And on your next breath in, rise up to a tabletop. Bring the knees into hips distance. Move the feet out to hips distance into our tabletop pose. So we're going to move through cat-cow, a great way to just warm up the spine before we do some of the bigger movements. So as we inhale, we lift the tailbone, drop the belly, draw the center of the chest forward, lift the gaze. Coming into that lovely extension through the spine. This is the other movement, back bending. And as we exhale, start to round through the spine, release the crown of the head towards the mat, bring the tailbone in, just tucking it in, lovely arch through the back. So moving there between that idea of extension on the inhale, back bending, and exhaling into that rounding flexion through the spine. One more like that. Inhale. And exhaling. We're moving all the way from the sacrum right up to the cervical vertebrae, joining to the skull. Come back into a neutral tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes up, use our breath to come up into our downwards facing dog. So have the hands shoulder distance, spread the fingers, roll the inner arms in towards each other, take a breath in, and as we exhale, lifting up through the hips, taking the tailbone upwards, bring the head between the upper arms, and just take a little pedal out through the legs. Feel into that extension through the whole of the upper body, torso, lengthening through the sides of the body. Just release the head, don't hold any tension in the neck. Excellent. One more breath. So you can keep the knees bent and focus on lifting the tailbone. You can straighten out the legs. If that's in your practice, you might even bring the heels all the way to the floor. But just do what is feeling good for you. Feet at hip distance, gaze back towards that space between the ankles. And then begin to walk the feet up towards the hands, coming into that forward fold. And here we've got that lovely flexion, same as we had in our child's pose. Forward folding, taking opposite elbows, take a little nod or turn of the head, just releasing any tension in the neck. Inhaling and exhaling, folding a little deeper. Release the hands, press down through the feet, firm into the belly, drawing the navel towards the spine, and rolling all the way up to standing, bringing the head up last. Come into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. You can turn on the mat, take the feet out a little wider. And we'll just begin some twisting through the spine. So gentle movements, you can lift the opposite heels as you turn away. You can take the head with you. And we're just having the arms hanging nice and loose, twisting as we go, just starting to bring that twisting shape through the spine. And these are the other two movements, twisting from right to left. Let the swinging subside. Step the feet just a little bit wider than hips distance. And continuing with that idea of twisting, we're going to bring in some cross-lateral movements across the body. So let's take the arms up to cactus arms. Just have the palms facing forward, elbows about shoulder height. And we're going to start bring the arms up to cactus arms, palms facing forward. So, and we're going to start to bring opposite elbow towards opposite knee. So we'll go right elbow, left knee. And just stepping between the two. I like to call this our goddess dance, and this just gives a sense of moving the spine in two directions at the same time. So it also increases that connection across the brain as we cross-laterally move our bodies. We'll do one more on each side, release that down, staying with some standing lateral bends. We're going to come into side bends. So take a big inhale, sweep the arms up. Take a hold of the right wrist with left fingers. Inhale, lengthen up through both sides of the body, pressing firmly through the feet. And as we exhale, keep the legs nice and steady, side bending over to the left. Take a breath in there. And use the inhale to come back to center, swapping over, taking a bind of left wrist and exhaling over to the right. And again, you see, we're just moving the spine from left to right. Inhale back to center, we'll do one more each side. Exhale over to the left. Inhale to center and exhaling over to the right. So inhale, come back to center, release the hands down. You can turn again to the top of the mat. Take an inhale up with the arms. Exhale down into your forward fold. Take an inhale, coming into half forward fold. So we're just extending the spine here, looking forwards. Hands can be to the knees, ankles or the floor. And as we exhale, release again into that forward bend. Bend the knees if you need to, take the hands to the floor. We're going to start by stepping left foot back, coming into a lunge. Look forward. You can drop down through left knee. Rise the body up, bring the hands together at heart center, elbows lifted, nice and long through the spine. Make sure that that right knee is over right ankle, giving that stability. Inhale at center, and as we exhale, take a twist towards the right. So left elbow to the top of right thigh. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, you might twist a little deeper, maybe even turning through the head to look back over right shoulder. Now you can here lift up through left knee, strengthening the legs as we twist. On an exhale, drop the knee if you've done that. Return back to center, hands to the floor. Big inhale to step forwards, back into that half forward fold, and release again into a forward bend. Fingertips to the floor. Exhale as you step back with the right foot. Looking forward, drop right knee down, keep the toes tucked under. So lift the torso up, bring the hands into heart center. Elbows lifted. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twisting towards that left side. And you see, we're trying to eventually start to bring the hands back towards heart center. You want to keep that elbow lifted, stay broad across the collarbones. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, twist a little deeper. Maybe taking the gaze back over left shoulder. Again, if you lift it up on one side, you can extend that right leg. Don't worry if there's any wobbles. Keep breathing. And on an exhale, lower that knee down if you've lifted it. Return back to center. Take the hands to the floor. And we're going to step back now, this time into a downwards facing dog. So, exhale as you step left foot back, joining right foot, lifting through the tailbones, pressing down through the palms, hopefully warming up. Again, just releasing the head between the upper arms, lengthening up through the tailbone. Look forward between the hands. So let's exhale, come into plank. Just adjust the feet if you need to. Make sure the shoulders are over the wrists. And this is a great front and back body strengthener. I like to think of lifting up through the back of the body, creating that sense of lightness in plank, but also drawing the front body, the core, in towards the spine. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, let the knees come down, untuck the toes, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. We're going to practice some gentle back bending here in Cobra. So forehead to the floor, slide the hands back just a little in line with that centre of the chest. Elbows tucked in, tops of the feet resting on the floor. Inhale, lift through the upper back, elbows tucking in, keep the neck nice and neutral, and as you exhale, you can lower down. Breathing in again. So we're firming into the midline. We are engaging the muscles through the back of the body to lift us up into that back bend. So inhaling again. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, soft gaze forwards. And exhale, come down. One more time. We'll stay up for a couple of breaths this time. Inhale, lift. Tuck those elbows in, roll the shoulders away from the ears, soften the face. Front of the hips, length of the legs stays on the mat. On your next exhale, you're going to release back down to the mat. Tuck the toes under, press up through a tabletop, knees together, untuck the toes, come back into a closed knee child's pose. And this is a great counter pose for any back bending that you've done. Let the arms come alongside of the body, release the forehead to the floor, and let's just take 3 breaths here. Breathing in and out through the nose as before. Slide the hands forward. Come up to kneeling, and we're just going to take the legs to the right. I'll turn to face you. Take the legs to the right. So we're sitting onto that left hip. Right hand comes over to left knee. Left fingers are going to come behind. We're going to lengthen up through the crown of the head on an inhale. You can have the hand flat or tented fingers on that left hand. And as we exhale, we're going to twist away from our feet, turning top of the chest towards that left side. Take the head with you, keeping the head at center. On your next exhale, you might go a little deeper. You might turn and look back over left shoulder. And then release. On an exhale, come back to center. You can lean back into the hands. Take the feet over to the other side, and we'll repeat. So left hand's going to come over to right knee, right fingers are going to come behind. Have that sense always of lifting up through the crown of the head. That just kind of gives that space between all the vertebrae. Inhaling to lengthen, and that exhale to twist. Inhaling again, always lengthen on the inhale, and twist or side bend, whichever movement we're doing on the exhale. Wonderful. Release back to center on an exhale. We're going to come lengthways on our mat and come into seated forward fold. You might find just having a little thinly folded blanket, if you find it difficult to access forward folding, you can help. We'll do a video on this, but having a little lift through the sit bones, placing the sit bones, that base of the hips, onto the edge of the blanket, just can help to bring that whole pelvic girdle into something a little more neutral, and can really help sometimes with that sense of forward folding. Have the legs long, feet hip distance, even flex through the feet. So we don't want the big toes rolling in, little toes rolling away. See if you can flex the whole foot evenly towards the ceiling. Lift through the heart center, lengthen through the spine. On an inhale, sweep up through the arms. And as you exhale, we're going to think about taking the front of the body forwards over the thighs. We can reach for the feet, outside edges of the feet with the hands. Inhale again, lengthen out through that low back, really accessing that forward fold, roll the shoulders away from the ears. And this time as you exhale, you can use that bind around the feet or the ankles, even the sides of the legs, wherever you are getting to go a little deeper down into that forward fold. Let's take one more breath here. And then on an inhale, just start to rise up out of that seated forward fold. Bend up through the knees, pop your blanket off to one side. So we're going to come down onto our backs, finishing off the practice. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Let the shoulders relax down. And then taking the arms out to each side. Just finishing off with a nice releasing twist here. So take a breath in at center. As you exhale, you're going to take the legs over to the left side off the mat. Leave the head at center or turn to look towards your right hand. And as you exhale, taking the legs over to the right. And just let the legs come down fully. Turn to look towards the left hand if you wish. Bring the head back to center, legs back to center, release the feet down one by one. And we're going to come into a little Shavasana, final relaxation. So you can just bring the arms down alongside the body, turn the palms away, extend the legs out long, take the feet a bit wider than hips distance, let the feet roll out, arms roll out. So you really want the whole of the back of the body just to release down to the floor. Have a little natural curve through the back of the neck. Let the eyes close. Soften the face. Soften the jaw. Just taking a breath in through the nose. Let there be a big sigh out through the mouth.
as you really just release a little further through the back of the body down to the mat. And Shavasana, this final pose at the end of the practice, is really important to just allow the body to integrate the movements that you've been doing. It allows that connection of the mind body to integrate the benefits you might feel from the practice, perhaps an uplifted spirit, sense of joy, maybe just relief that it's finished, and a sense of contentment. So just having that space at the end of the practice, as we're doing now, to let any thoughts or feelings arise. And there's no judgment, there's no right or wrong feelings. They are natural and normal and human for us to feel those things. I'll give you a moment's silence. Just letting that whole body relax. Mind and body at ease. So beginning to bring a little bit of movement back into the body as we start to transition out from Shavasana. So maybe a few deeper breaths, movement in the hands, the feet, gentle turn of the head. And then let yourself bend up through the knees, roll over to one side and just press yourself up to a comfortable seat. So come join me in that comfortable seat on the mat. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe as ever. And if you wanted a little bit more explanation of some of the poses that we've covered today, on my website, I have a little beginning yoga guide which just explains some of these poses in a little bit more detail. Just to reiterate, I thank you to everybody that watches these videos. This one's great for really just keeping that healthy spine, helping us to kind of, live better as we age. And I look forward to seeing you next time. We're going to do a little bit of work on the next videos on perhaps some of the breath that we can use to calm, help us go to sleep, and then working on others that help us to feel more energized, perhaps waking up in the morning. So stay tuned, subscribe so you don't miss any of those. Until next time though, a little bow to each other in gratitude, many thanks, and namaste.